Welcome back, everyone. We have a new script today from Michael in Germany, session 98, Science is the New Religion. We have the giant script, Genesis 6:4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and after that, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, men of renown. Or excuse me, men which were from old men of renown, yes. All right, Michael, so we, I think we started the series just the other week there on my channel, and it looks like it's gotten a really good response so far. So that's a good thing, and I'm really hoping that we can reach out to those, what can we say, lost vessels, lost children of Israel, and encourage them today and show them that we're just here to bring that salt and light back to those that have been lost, and both Michael and I think we can vouch for that, right, Michael?
Yeah, hi Brett, and hello dear listeners out there. Yes, I'm very eager to do these scripts because this is kind of the research that I was doing for quite some time. And this is really affecting our faith, our support, and our current situation. And as we have already seen that it's all about this Genesis 6:4 verse, yeah, there were giants in the earth, I have prepared something for you. When I was thinking about doing a script of this ancient situation of the giants on the earth or in the earth, I was thinking about so many things that are usually not been depicted very well or explained in detail in the Bible, and it's a hard thing to do actually, because there are certain functions of servants of the Almighty God. You see that every angel is depicted as a kind of messenger, if you would like to say so, a messenger between heaven and earth also. So there are cherubs and there are seraphs, Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so cherub, it's very, very interesting. That was also the profession of Lucifer in the Garden of Eden, Ezekiel 28:13. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? You say cherubs. That reminds me of these paintings they got up on the ceiling of the Vatican and in the Sistine Chapel, things like that. Isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're trying to depict that. Very, very telling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you look here in Ezekiel 28:13, we see that is a verse which we have tremendously referred upon in the satanic media and music agenda exposed. When you see that cherub, which Hebrews 3:7-4-2, yeah, that means of uncertain derivation, a cherub or imaginary figure, a cherubims. But what is his task, his order? Yeah, thou art the anointed, so it's a special kind of servant. He's anointed, cherub that covereth. Yeah, so that means to cover something, to defend something. Yeah, and I have said and I was instantly reminded, of course, about the book of Genesis. In the 3rd chapter, after the fall of man, it is said here, so he drove out the man, or mankind in general, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims. So that's a plural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they are covering something, they are protecting something. Yeah, and you see that from these two verses alone, I can see that they have a special task of covering something on the order of the Almighty God with a flaming sword. Interesting, huh? So when I know that these cherubs were there to cover, there are also some other angelic beings called the seraph. In Hebrew, seraph means burning, and it's used 7 times throughout the text of the Hebrew Bible as a noun, usually to denote serpent. Twice in the book of Numbers, 1 in the book of Deuteronomy, and 4 times in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah's vision of the Lord, meaning Isaiah chapter 6. Aha. Above stood 2 seraphims. 8, 3, 1, 4. Yo, I missed it. I have copied that in the wrong order. Isaiah 6, 2. That is figuratively poisonous serpent, especially a seraph, a symbolical creature. A fiery serpent. Interesting, huh? These are servants of the Almighty Lord with 6 wings. Who were just being famous, Brett, for crying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts." And seraphim.
The whole earth is full of His glory. Yeah, that's right.
Interesting, huh? That depicts like a fiery serpent.
Sure.
To denote serpent. Seraph, ser, S-E-R. It's the same root in the beginning as serpent. Interesting that Lucifer, then Satan, he was just using a serpent in disguise, huh? That's really interesting. You see, when I look upon it, then a cherub, like Lucifer, means to cover, to protect something. And a seraph is a little bit of the one who's praising God, but Lucifer did not want to praise God. So very interesting.
No, he wanted to praise himself.
Very interesting. And as we know that there are some certain hierarchy in the Bible, also when you're in the Bible, this is a German Bible, you got the depiction of archangels. For example, the Michael is the archangel here in Jude 1:9, Brett.
Right. Should I read that?
No, it's too late.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought. So when you highlight something, I'm assuming you're ready for me to read it. So
Yes.
Here we go. Yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, "The Lord rebuke thee."
So when Michael is an archangel and he's telling then the devil, speaking of Satan, once Lucifer, who once was a cherubim, then I can assume, Brett, that the position of an archangel is in the hierarchy not on top of a cherub, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but you see, I would assume that because...
Well, it could be that they have a different purpose. Now, if you want to call that a hierarchy, I don't think so.
No,
It's just a different purpose.
it's a different purpose, and you see that what is the function of a servant of the Almighty Lord? I think it is to serve and not about to boast.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it is not to boast. You see that always I come across these things of there's a satanic diabolical hierarchy and the angels and all this stuff. We do not know it. What we know, or what I know at this moment, Brett, is that there are at least 4 types of servants depicted in the Bible. These are angels, these are archangels, these are cherubs and seraphims or seraphs. So that's what I know from the King James Bible. Yeah, we are not talking yet on Jesus Christ or in the Old Testament of the order of Melchizedek.
Melchizedek. Yeah,
Melchizedek.
Right.
Okay, well, it's to remember and to translate it at the same time is a bit difficult sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's different ways to pronounce it, and I know there's a lot of people that are very picky about that, but I'm not one of them. Okay.
Yeah. What I want to tell actually is that we talked about these watchers. Last time we talked about the watchers and the Holy One. Yeah. So these are 2 heavenly entities. I want to avoid the name heavenly bodies, because bodies, it seems like these are like men. Yeah, these have a physical body. Let's say these are just entities. Yeah, and these watchers, they also have a special purpose. So I can't tell you if these watchers are kind of a cherub who covered it, or that they have a special purpose. It just been mentioned the watcher, so it might be the fifth of a kind of servants of the Almighty Lord. What I wanted to express last time in the very confused session about Enoch versus Enoch is that it's very hard to go into all these apocryphica and all these mystery legends, fairy tales, etc., because you can't sort the things out if you do not stick to the Bible. And it's very big, but if you really know that in the occult and in the apocryphic there are numerous accounts of angels and things beside the Genesis 6:4 depiction of the sons of God came into the daughters of men, then it will be very interesting. But you have to separate the two of them. You have to separate the Bible account, which we have in Genesis 6:4, what Red has read in the beginning of the session, and we have to separate it from the secular stuff or from the worldly stuff or even from the apocryphica, and also because we can't prove it. It seems not to be divinely inspired, but just against my original wish not to go into, I found so many interesting items, which is a kind of a transition from the last session to this, and especially to the very next sessions, so that I would like to and love to share that with you, because then you really see what's what. So I'm trying to sort it out. You see, in these apocryphic books, these watchers are depicted as kind of leaders to learn people about metallurgy, about cosmetic, about medicine, of all the stuff. And I told you that the sons of God, they are superior, of course. Yeah, these are heavenly entities which came to earth, and then they mingle together with the daughters of man. So it is not only that they have created these gigantic creatures, giants called, but they also have profound knowledge of heaven bread. And so you can't declare how these pyramids in Egypt and all the other stuff they most probably did, how they were created just only by force. Yeah? So there's a system, there's intelligence behind it, there's a plan behind it. And so that is not what the Bible tells you, but that is what certain books are telling you. For example, the Book of Enoch and all the stuff, which I don't only want to mention just briefly. These angels, these servants of the Almighty Lord, these are until this very day been used in divination, sorcery, and these rituals. One of them is called the lesser ritual of the pentagram. We talked about that. I don't know if I did it in English when we talked about Kate Bush, because Kate Bush was once referring to that lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram with her Lily song. It's called Lily, L-I-L-L or L-I-L-L-Y. And this is a very prominent thing, which is also depicted in many horror movies, for example, from Christopher Lee and all the stuff. This is part of a series of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. No session without Aleister Crowley, it seems. I don't know. Yeah, these are so-called banishing rituals, which is absolutely not a banishing ritual, but a bullshit, because that goes too far to explain it in detail. If you would like to draw circles and to use any occult stars and all this symbology to banish evil things, then you're really not spot on. Jesus said Beelzebub cannot drive out Beelzebub, yeah, so that it has absolutely no effect but to encourage the dark side, and also the dark side in you. And in these rituals, you also have the Michael, the lion-headed, Raphael, the human-headed, Uriel, the bull-headed, and Gabriel, the eagle-headed. And you have all these angels lined up in all four directions. Yeah, and the only two angels, or archangels, who are depicted in the Bible, archangels I have my problems with, let's say angels, are Michael and Gabriel, so the angels with name. Yeah, it's Michael and Gabriel. The other ones are just coming down from the Torah or even some other resources. So in the King James Bible, you only find Michael and Gabriel. Okay, so every other thing is just pure, not in the King James Bible depicted. Yeah, so. these are ceremonial magic. Yeah, so also the angels been used, of course, for the invocation. So much so. Yeah, so I won't encourage you to go into all these rituals. I just want to mention it that we have a certain amount of these angels, and we have a certain amount of occult things which are not implemented in the Bible for good reason. Because, for example, there are angels mentioned, or name of angels mentioned, who were not part of the Bible. For example, one very prominent is Metatron. I even know of companies who are using that name in 2023. For what reason? Yeah, well, if you just promote occultism, if you just promote Satanism, then of course you will be rewarded in the world according to Luke 4 and Matthew 4. Yeah, so Metatron, for example, is an angel in Judaism mentioned 3 times in the Talmud, in a few brief passages and mystical Kabbalistic texts with rabbinic literature. Yes. The name Metatron is not mentioned in the Torah or the Bible. How the name originated is a matter of debate. Well, I got an interesting influence about that name, Metatron. It will show up here. Another hypothesis would derive Metatron from a combination of 2 Greek words, meaning after and meaning throne, which taken together would suggest the idea of one who serves behind the throne, or one who occupies the throne next to the throne of glory. That is not very far away from a cherub who covered it, right, Brett? I'd say. So, but this guy has never spoken of in the Bible, so therefore we can assume that he never existed, and he's just another code name or alias of the one and only Lucifer-Satan. And he's been mentioned in the Gnostic teachings. Yeah, you see that the bad side or the evil side, they are just boasting. They're not servants. Yeah, they are boasting about. Oh, they are so powerful. Metatron. Yeah, it seems like a Godzilla in angel.
Not only that, but why would Facebook turn its name into Meta?
Yeah, that's a good argument. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, and so
why would they do that if that wasn't, something incredibly significant, let's say? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that these rabbis, they tell you some fairy tales how Metatron guided Enoch through heaven and explained its wonders. Huh? Yeah, this is not depicted in the Bible. Yeah, this is not in the Bible. You see, you can be lost with all the stuff. In the Apocalypse of Zerubbabel, yeah, Metatron is not identified as Enoch. Instead, he is identified as the Archangel Michael. Yeah? So to confuse all the people. It's just, the devil is just there to confuse you. Oh, sorry. Right, V. Yeah. Yeah? It's a medieval Hebrew apocalypse beginning at the 7th century. Common era.
Yeah, common era. Yeah.
Yeah, they try to change times and laws, huh? Common era. Yeah, you see, this is rabbinic literature. It has nothing to do with the truth so far, and at least it has nothing to do with the Bible. Yeah, in Islam, it's also interesting, but it's not part of our reading now. Yeah, so that's one example. The next example will be much more interesting. And it's called and it's called Samyaza. Ever heard of Samyaza, Brett?
No.
Ah, okay. So Samyaza or Shemhatzai, Atza, Uza or Uza is a fallen angel of apocryphic Abrahamic traditions and Manichaeism who ranked in the heavenly hierarchy as the leader of the Watchers. Watch out.
Manichaeism, yes.
We talked about that last time, I think, huh?
I think we may have. Yeah, yes. I can't remember.
So, the interpretation goes well with the motive of the heavenly watchers, the angels supervising humans on earth. Aha. And there we are very close to the sons of God came into the daughters of men, because, of course, they have their special knowledge of how to go and how to proceed and how to get their knowledge to humans in general. So that figure here, that alleged...
Oh, Michael, would you mind if I just quick read this? Manichaeism is a dualistic religious system with Christian, Gnostic, and pagan elements founded in Persia in the 3rd century by Manes, and it lists here from 216 to 276. The system was based on supposed primeval conflict between light and darkness. It spread wildly in the Roman Empire and in Asia and survived in eastern Turkestan. Xinjiang, oh, excuse me, I butchered this because I don't know how to pronounce it. Xinjiang in the 13th century.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, Michael.
Yeah, that's what we have read last time, or the second to last time. Yes, I remember.
Just to refresh my memory with everyone else, Michael, because
Yeah.
this is really a foreign language to me, actually.
Yeah, look, for example, the Book of Tobit has been mentioned in the King James Bible, but it is not implemented in the book of 66 divine inspired books. But according to my knowledge at the moment, for example, the so-called Archangel Raphael has been implemented in the Book of Tobit. But the problem is that we can't tell if the Book of Tobit really is that Book of Tobit that the Bible is speaking of. Yeah, see, when there are certain Enochs, and you see that... If it's not been part of that King James version, I would be very, very cautious to touch on it. And so that's what I would try to hand over. That's also...
Well, you just found out right, like you said, with Enoch, right? So same thing. You don't... A name is a name, okay? So you can use a name in a righteous way, and you can use it in a wicked way, too. So... we have that example of the 2 Enochs, yes.
The scribes and Pharisees were the elite who were handing over Jesus Christ to the Roman system.
That's right.
Yeah. So what shall convince me that there are not a bunch of forged scripts, and you know that there is, for example, from our series here, the corrupt Alexandrian stream and all this stuff. Yeah. So we can't really find it out. What's what? What I really want to tell you is that there are so many legends and so many things in certain books depicted that we really can't tell for sure. It is just to hand over some information, but I would never tell you that is the absolute truth, because the absolute truth can only be divine inspired, because the only absolute is the absolute Almighty Lord, and we are not absolute. We are fallible men. So this is just for general information, but not necessarily the truth. The legend goes that after the sons of God were having these offspring, those so-called giants, the legend goes that Michael and Gabriel went on to destroy, this is not part of the script yet, went on to destroy these giants, but they could only destroy their body. The legend tells that they could not destroy their souls, and their souls lived on as demons on the earth, who were looking for a body to inherit, so that they can possess anybody, and then can have a body, and then can have power and possess that man. Yeah, so that is legend. It's not part of the Bible. I just want to hand over these informations where this comes from certain apocryphal books and Book of Enoch and all this stuff, but I did not want to implement it here as a text, so it is not true in that regard. We can't prove it. We can't prove it. But you see that demons are being mentioned in the Bible quite often. Demons presenting evil spirits, actually. Servants of Satan. So it's the other way around. These are, if you like to call so, these are inherited fallen angels who are been occupying the body of humans. Yeah, and you see that in all these legends it's about, they need something to feed themselves and all the stuff. They're feeding themselves from the blood of humans and all the stuff. You see, we are talking about angels, we are talking about demons, we are talking about fallen spirits, we are talking about something which does not need any blood, bones, food or drink.
It's like the legend of the vampire, right?
Yes, yeah, you see that? That's, yeah.
You know, it's not any different than that. And Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on about, experiences we've had in our lives and things like that, Michael, but I don't want to bore anyone.
No, you can't go anything. You can go into the Council of Laodicea. You see where they have forbidden to preach to the angels and all the stuff. But on the other hand, they are just vanishing, or what is it? They are just glorifying them, and they're saints. You see, it does not make any sense. Yeah, it does not make so much sense. But that is just general information. But now, why do I need Samyasa, of whom I do not know if that would be the real name? Because the heavenly hierarchy as the leader of the Watchers means the fallen, means heavenly entities.
You mentioned the Council of Laodicea, and that is a big, huge can of worms to me because remember, one of the principles in the Council of Laodicea was outlawing the keeping of the Sabbath, Saturday, and encouraging rest on Sunday. So, there's nothing new under the sun here. Everyone these days chooses their Sabbath. They don't practice, that the Sabbath is Saturday. They don't dare say it, except if you're Jewish. So it's interesting, I mean, it's very interesting to me, Michael, that these little snippets, very, very important to some of us for whatever reason. To me, that's just such a valuable piece of
you see, they are talking about so many legends, about names of things which are not been a part of the Bible. It is just you can't tell if it's true or if it's untrue, or it's likely or unlikely. It is just that everywhere you see there's a rebellion against Lord God. That's a common theme in all the stuff in legend and the Greek mythology and all the stuff, the Titans versus the Olympians. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's evil against good. And
sure.
Yeah, it's evil against good. It's not good versus evil. It is just evil versus good. Yeah. The good has created anything, including the evil, and the evil said, "No, I won't obey. I won't obey my creator. I'm just, I'm trying to play God. Yeah, you shall be as God."
I like to think of it as the righteous versus the wicked,
yes,
Michael.
Yes, unrighteous, yes.
Yeah, because the righteous are obedient to God and his commandments, stemming all the way back to the old covenant, Go ahead.
Red can do 20 sessions on angels. That's absolutely...
yeah, that's right. It's interesting, Michael.
It is just that you really see that there are legends about that mankind in general was being instructed by divine spirits, let's say. Yeah. So I don't care if they're called the sons of God or if they're called the Watchers or so, but every time it's depicting a spirit coming from above. Okay. So that's a common thing. And now we look a little bit further on the legend of Samyasa. This is a tradition, apocryphic Abrahamic tradition. So be very careful. In the book
that's right.
In colloquial Aramaic of the Christian of the Middle East, it had become the common name for a television. A vision from far away. That means television, huh? A vision from far away. In the book of Enoch, one of the apocryphic writings, which I did not want to go into, Samyasa has been portrayed as the leader of a band of angels. We're making music for Satan. Heavy metal, maybe, or death metal, called the Sons of God or Watchers. A band of angels called the Sons of God. We know that the Sons of God, we talked about that before, that the Sons of God were heavenly beings who were then fornicating together with the daughters of men. So there must be negative because they did not obey the Lord's command. So they are negative. I have no color left for negative. Maybe we should use gray as spoiled white. Or watchers. Or what else? Who tells you that it's not only the sons of God, but among the sons of God, maybe there were also watchers. The Bible does not tell us. It's no time for making any bets here. So the sons of God. Take some time to get to the nitty-gritty, I can tell you. The sons of God, not the Son of God, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the only begotten Son of God, but sons of God. You see that usually Sons of God is a motorbike club, and there's also a band called Sons of God. Of course, they are just making mockery of the Bible. Yeah, and the sons of God were not giants. The giants were the offspring. Yeah, you see that it's disinformation everywhere. It's very hard to sort out the facts. So, the legend of Samyaza as the leader of the Watchers, who was supervising humans on Earth, is a legend, people. It's not the truth. It's a legend so far. Yeah. When the rebel angels, with the rebel yell, more, Billy Idol, with the rebel, Billy the rebel. When the rebel, meaning Nimrod means the rebel, for example, also. And when the rebel angels first meet upon Mount Hermon to organize their secret society of 200 members, this is legend, this is apocrypha. Samyaza, as their recognized chieftain, initially doubts the initiative's resolve to forswear heaven. Then they had planned to achieve through dark alliances and clandestine oaths, so that reminds me of Skull and Bones and all this stuff here, and Freemasonry, sworn under penalty of death, thereby binding themselves to that treachery whereby they would use their heaven-acquired knowledge to create a counterfeit religion. What could that be, Brett? On earth to satisfy their lust and carnal desires. This is Mount Hermon. That is where the alleged 200 rebels were meeting up with Samyaza to organize a secret society of 200 fallen ones, or watchers, or what else. This is the Mount Hermon. Jabal Hararum. It's a mountain cluster in anti-Lebanon mountain range, the highest point in Syria. On the top, in the United Nations buffer zone between Syrian and Israeli occupied territories, is the highest permanently manned UN position in the world, known as Hermon Hotel. What a coincidence, huh? The United Nations, with the permanent observer status of the Syrian Military Order of Malta and the Vatican.
Yeah, that's right.
They are on the Mount Hermon, where 200 of the rebel angels have organized a secret society. Maybe that secret society has been named United Nations.
Yeah.
And that was not a joke.
I know. That's right. It's dead serious.
Yeah, so Hermon was reminding me of the Hermon monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you see, they have created
Hermon. Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little twist of letters here.
Yeah, it's just it really sounds the same, huh?
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. Having this persuaded his fellow watchers to join him in the schemes to fornicate with women, Samyaza led his angelic brethren in a seduction of the human females for whom they yearned. The offspring from that unnatural mating between heavenly and earthly beings, so Uranus and Gaia on that concern, or heaven and earth, were the Nephilim. A plural noun rendered as giants in the King James translation of the book of Genesis. Yeah, so now you know what the legend is. It's not the Bible, it's a legend, okay? Yeah. The reign began in the days of the righteous patriarch Jared, the father of the prophet Enoch. Which Enoch? You have to sort out the facts. It as time passed, their debauchery sank to even greater depths, and there was a great impiety and much fornication, and they went astray, and all their ways became corrupt. Enoch, yeah? Apocrypha. This wickedness caused Enoch to have a sleep vision or prophetic dream known as the animal apocalypse, which relates how a star fell from heaven. Britain looks for the superstar, huh? A star fell from heaven. This is Revelation here, Revelation 12. Yeah, a star depicting an angel or fallen one. Yeah, your star fell, an angel fell. A star means an angel fell from heaven. Yeah, so I don't want to go into all this apocrypha. Yeah. But I just want to tell you that this in Apocrypha, it has been also mentioned that these were watchers, so they were heavenly beings who came into the sons of into the daughters of men. Sorry. And God commanded in the legend the angel Gabriel to cause the watchers and giants to wage civil war. And the Lord said unto Michael, go and bind the angel and the watcher. Once the archangels and the host of the righteous has punished the watchers and giants, God poured forth after several generations a great flood of Noah to wipe out the lingering remnants of the corrupted races of the earth. Yes. Yeah, and so far, this is just, then you have the book of Enoch, then you have the book of giants, then you have so many rabbinic literature. But you see, the evil side always is depicted about boasting, not about serving, but boasting, of course. And now, don't forget to mention the Babylonian Talmud contains a singular mention of the name Samyasa in Nida 61a. So, where does the name come from, Brett? And now you see also my concern about this Apocryphica and the Book of Giants and the Book of Enoch. Yeah, when it has been mentioned in these books, the name of that, and it's also been mentioned in the Babylonian Talmud, which was first. Yeah. So, in my humble opinion, there is no myth of a fallen angels because they are clearly depicted on the Bible.
Ha ha! Now listen, how twisted is that? I mean, that's the problem with history, Michael. It's all relative, just like the Jesuits want.
Mm-hmm.
They've made a world of relativity, just like the Jesuits want. So it's all relative now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you see? Oh, you can't be with them King James only guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, because those guys are way off,
Yeah. By the way,
I mean, we live in such a corrupt world. It's not even funny. It's disgusting.
You know that in the New Jerusalem there would be no First Amendment.
I love it how you put green along that myth of the fallen angels. That is perfect. And for all of you listeners that have not heard any of Michael's previous recordings, let me remind you that when you do, you'll find that Michael has studied these different aspects of occultism for a very long time. And green is a color of what? Witchcraft. And what did they say in the Bible about God's people have been bewitched? So let's be thankful that we no longer have to endure this witchcraft. We can come to the knowledge of the truth. We can have our scriptures. And by the way, remember, the King James Bible, we're saying, is the only Bible that explains itself without an interpreter. So that's why it's so very important. Very, very, very important. To the faith, that is. Right, Michael?
Yeah, you see, there is no myth of the fallen angels if you go to the King James Bible versus, the chapter of Revelation and other chapters as well. Also in the book of Jude. Yeah, we do not have to stress the book of Revelation. Actually, it's also in the book of Jude. Oh, where is that? Here, in verse 6.
Yes, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
Yeah, and so this is no myth of fallen angels. This is the truth. But you see that in the wicked world, they tell you that it's just a myth.
Well, that's because they're coming at this at an angle from the polytheistic point of view, which means there are many gods. Yes.
You see that it's you can debauch that with mathematics actually. 2 times negative is a positive. Yeah, you see, negative multiplied with negative is positive. Added. So, yeah, if you yeah, you see that in a negative word, negative things must be positive. In the absolute.
Well, that's interesting you mentioned that. Now, when we study money, we know that debt is a negative value, right? So when you own debt, it's actually a double negative because it's a debt-based economy in the first place. Talk about a mind twister. Yeah, no wonder Jesus was so upset when he found the people in the temple, turning his temple into a den of thieves. He knew exactly what would happen. He knows the end from the beginning, right?
Yeah, and you see that before the fall, the O.Fr, Azza, or the another name of Samyatsa or Shemnatsa was in the rank of a seraphim. So holy, holy, holy. But he did not want to praise God, and so therefore, you see, Ausa and Samyatsa, it's just another name of Satan or Lucifer. It's just the multitude of lies. It's unbelievable in this world, yeah? Yeah, and so now you got this picture here. The sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair. A sculpture by Daniel Chester from 1923. This is Genesis 6:4 in a picture.
Right.
And this got me thinking. I said that is very interesting because when I know that there was a mingling between Uranus.
Could you zoom in on this next one?
Here?
Thank you. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So when I thought about maybe this is just, it's all the way when you see that is just a mingling between heavenly bodies and earthly women, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the same with Uranus and Gaia. Uranus meaning the lord of the sky. And Gaia means the earth. So something which has come out of the
Lord
earth.
of the sky. Where have I heard this before?
Yeah.
Reminds me of the sign of Anu, which is this mark of Cain.
Yeah. Yeah, but you see that this Uranus mythology, yeah, you see he's the personification of the sky and one of the Greek primordial deities, the son and husband of Gaia, the earth, with whom he fathered the first generation of Titans. Yeah, so one of the primordial deities, so something from above, yeah, went on to become the husband of the earth. Yeah, and we know that we are being made out of dust bread, so we are being made out of the earth. The earth has been made before us. According to the creation story, we have been created on the sixth day. But on the first day, God has created heaven and earth, right?
Right.
So we have been taken out of the earth. And also when Eve, or the first woman, has been created out of Adam, yeah, she has been created for that purpose. Genesis chapter 6, Genesis chapter 2.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
The Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul.
Yeah, so we are of this earth, or we are of the earth. Made out of the earth, a particle of the earth.
Yeah, that's Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, right?
2:7, yes. So when I know this is just a mingling here of Uranus with a heavenly thing, and together with the earth, with Gaia, yeah. So with a deity together with Gaia, so it's the same thing as the Watchers are having an offspring with the daughters of men. Yeah, and there I came across that picture here, and that's where my mess in the research really starts. Because that is here a part of a relief, a part of a depiction here from the Gigantomachy in the Pergamon Museum. And Pergamon is a location which has been described in the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verses 12.
And the angel of the church of Pergamus write, "These things saith he which hath the sharp sword with two edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is, and thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication.
And I said, oh, Brad, this is spot on, because this has been depicted here in the Pergamon Museum, and we know that Pergamon is the place where Satan dwells, or dwellest, where Satan's seat is. So Pergamon is an extremely negative, satanic location being mentioned in the book of Revelation. So far, so bad. But when on this depiction here on the Pergamon Museum, which we will talk about now, has been depicted here of Uranus, and it's a gigantomachy, then the giants have something to do with Satan, which is a further confirmation of our study of the Bible. Remember, Pergamon being where the seat of Satan is. And in Pergamon, they have these stone reliefs, where Uranus and the fights of the giants, or gigantomachy means giants, has been depicted. Yeah, so these giants have something to do with Satan worship. And that's what my research went into full swing. So that is Pergamos, or Pergamon, the official name, with temples all over the place. It's like this Pompeii thing, Pink Floyd, remember, certainly. Yeah, Pompeii had all kinds of temples, and then they had the earthquake, a volcano outbreak, and I think it was 70 after Christ or so. Not common era, after Christ. Yeah, they have a temple of Dionysus, they have the altar of Zeus. You see here smoke arising, Brett, huh? Yeah, smoke arising means sacrifices, burnt sacrifices, and that's what the book of Revelation tells you: to eat things sacrificed unto idols. So to eat burnt flesh. Yeah. So you had the temple of Trajan, which is the Caesar, the temple of Artemis.
Well, and wait a second now. Now that's a significant study, because you are not to eat things sacrificed into idols if the person that you are with would be offended by that. See, this is something that was known in the times of the Old Covenant, before Christ came. That we were instructed in the Bible not to eat things sacrificed into idols if the people that we are with would be offended by it. You know that, right, Michael?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and then we talk about committing fornication. I mean, what's the world we live in today all about? Oh, committing fornication on a mass scale. I mean, haven't we all endured this in our lives to some degree? Some of us, maybe not all of us, but I know I sure have. And, these people that sit in the seat of the house of worship have instructed their flocks that, we shouldn't be too concerned with things like that, because, God is merciful and forgiving. But, I think there's a lot of weight on the people that profess to be Christian today, Michael. And those weights will be weighed at the judgment of Christ when he returns to judge the quick and the dead. And, I think that's why it's so important to do these studies, is to just be reminded of those sins, perhaps, because, it's important, because that's where conviction comes from. I mean, how are we going to know that we done something wrong until the Holy Spirit comes and convicts you of what you've done in your life? You know it's wrong. But that's a personal thing, isn't it? It's not a public thing. So when people come to the public forum on YouTube, like Michael and I are doing, and we start talking about these things, we tick people off, you know, all the time. I used to have this happen on a regular basis. Doesn't seem like it happens as much anymore. But, you know, that's because there is a lot of iniquity that has been done in the house of worship. And we're going to have to endure those persecutions and different things. And sometimes it means separation from people that you had once considered your brethren. And you know, it's a very personal thing. But you know, the thing of it is that the revelation predicted it. It prophesied it, and now that's come to pass. And we got to take and get a firm hold on what has transpired so that we can be prepared for the future, right, Michael?
Yeah, the things they did not change. You see that people are worshipping these images and idols until this very day. Yeah,
yes,
you see
this is the problem.
This altar of Zeus, for example, this is the Pergamon altar. So that was intended to worship Zeus as the head of the Olympic gods in Greece. But it's the same as the Jupiter in Rome. My, it's hard to statue. Petrus statue, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that Zeus in the temple of Pergamon is the same as head god of never existing Greek gods and goddesses, and it's the same as the Roman equivalent of Jupiter, which has now been seen as here the alleged Saint Peter with a sundial above his head, and the sign of the pagan trinity here in his hand. Yeah, so that is the same. That is also the sign that the popes are using frequently. Yeah, so that
the papal salute.
The papal salute. Yeah. So that's the old thing. You see, nothing has changed. Yeah, if you call it the altar of Zeus or the Pergamon temple or the Jupiter or the Caesar, or you don't give the honor to God. You give the honor to gods and goddesses who never existed.
That is the major conflict. Yes. Yeah. Right.
So that is the Pergamon throne of Satan in the city of Pergamon. So usually it has been depicted now as a Pergamon temple. Actually, it is the altar of Zeus with the burnt offerings. You see the smoke here. This is the temple area. This is the altar of Zeus. Okay. And of course, yeah, this is part of the UNESCO World Heritage List. No? So every, including the Egyptians, pyramids, everything pagan temples will be worshipped in the UNESCO, United Nations Education, Science and Cultural, what else, organizations. You see that is nothing else but pagan worship list. And very interesting because this thing has been moved over, has been excavated? Is it excavated?
Yes, it is excavated.
Excavated out of Minor Asia here, where it has been found in the city of Pergamon, due to Germany. Yeah, that's why I told you that Germany has a big influence and a big prominent. Yeah, it's in Turkey nowadays, but it was in the Hellenistic times. So Alexander the Great also, it belongs, of course, to the Greek Empire. So Pergamon is an ancient city here in the west coast of Turkey. Here what you can't see is Greece. Here is Turkey. Yeah, and down below here in the south would be Lebanon, Syria, Israel, all the stuff. Yeah, so this is the city of Pergamon, and now this temple here of Pergamon, Zeus altar. Yeah, these are the remains of the Pergamon altar or the Zeus altar. This has been moved in Pergamon. Where was it? 1880? No. 1890? No. Yeah, in 1819, around 1819, had been moved from Turkey. I have to. Sorry, this is bad research. Pergamon altar. Pergamon altar.
All one word.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. In 1887, the German engineer Carl Schumann, he began to excavate the Pergamon officially until 1886. Yeah, and then they had some interrogation or some communication with the Turkish government, and therefore in 1901 they have moved it to a museum island. Where
You mean 1878, Michael, when it started? Yeah. You
Yes.
said 1887, but you
Oh,
meant
yeah, 1878. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Yeah, so maybe it's easier to
No problem.
to go to the English speaking channel. And so this in 1878, this engineer Carl Schumann started official excavations on the Acropolis of Pergamon, an effort that lasted until 1886, and then they were subsequently transferred to Berlin, where they were placed on display in the Pergamon Museum. Congratulations. So in Germany we got the altar of Zeus, or in Germany we got the throne of Satan. And you are very, very surprised to learn that from Germany we were accused of starting 2 world wars after that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And on the opposite side of the Pergamon Museum, guess who lived there? There was a certain German chancellor called Angela Merkel. Yeah, she had no other place to live but in the opposite direction, nearby the Pergamon Museum.
How fitting, right?
How fitting, yes. I'm not making it up. I knew that before.
No,
but of course,
right.
I don't know that. But I just read it in a German newspaper, so I can't prove it. But that German newspaper says the chancellor's, the Chancellor Merkel is living here, huh? They're living in a rent in Berlin, in the middle of Berlin, and so that is here gegenüber, which means on the opposite side of the Pergamon Museum. Yeah, what a coincidence, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
What a coincidence. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this is the Pergamon Museum, the State Museum of Berlin, and now Germany has to face the fact that we are exposing Satan's throne, and that is great. That is great, huh? That is great. That is an achievement that Germany has got the seed of Satan, huh? Germany has got the seed of Satan, huh? Yeah.
Germany has suffered a lot of war, a lot of death.
Yeah, you see, this is
blood.
This is an expo here, and the people that say, "Oh yeah, that's an old ancient temple."
That's because these men are trying to corrupt Germany, just like they're trying to corrupt the United States. It's the same story. It's the same story, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to corrupt us.
Yeah,
they're trying to mock us.
Each tour of the museum starts in front of the imposing Pergamon altar, which happened to be the Zeus altar, with the burnt offerings from the 2nd century before Christ. They don't tell you that is this part of the book of Revelation. So it looks like a seat here. So for your left arm and for your right arm, you see with all these columns here. And guess what? These...
but they use BC instead of BCE. Wow.
Great. Maybe it's an older video. Yeah, and you see these stairs. They shuffled their victims the stairs above there to burn them. That's what usually takes place also on every top of every pyramid also. Yeah, especially on South America is very Chichen Itza. It's very famous or infamous for. And you see that here on this reliefs here on this stone tablets here. This is the war of the giants depicted here. What we're talking about. There were giants in the earth these days. Oh, in those days. There were giants in the earth those days. And this is depicted here on the throne of Satan. So this is the offspring of Satan. Otherwise, I do not see any reason, Brett, why they have engraved it on the throne of Satan.
Oh, that reminds me of that scripture in Isaiah. Oh, goodness gracious. If you don't mind, I'll read it while you're watching this video. Let me find it here.
Yeah, you see what's here the frieze which portrays the struggle between the gods and giants.
Yeah.
So I think it's very rightful to assume that the giants, between the gods, or the heaven and the giants, so the offspring of the fallen ones, is a masterpiece of Hellenistic art. No, it's a veneration of satanic offspring. Yeah, they've also been boasting and celebrating Roman arts, and even there, a few minutes after that, you will see the gate of Ishtar from Babylonia Empire.
All right, Michael. Here it is, Jeremiah 17. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron, with a point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of your altars. Whilst their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasure to the spoil. And thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders, even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and make flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. He shall be like a heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places of the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabited. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the rivers of water, that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh. But her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. As the partridge sitteth on eggs, and hatcheth them not, so he that getteth riches, and not by right, shall leave them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool. A glorious high throne from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary. O Lord, the hope of Israel, all that forsake thee shall be ashamed. And they that depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken the Lord, the fountain of living waters.
Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.
I think you see that is so clear for all the people who are really used to reading the Bible. But I do not. I feel sorry for all the people who are being misled in the world. And you really see this Ishtar gate here, the ancient Babylon, a processional way. Yeah, can you really think where the Roman Catholic Church has got the inspiration of the entrances in their churches?
That's right.
Yeah,
From Babylon.
So obvious.
Yep. The head of the golden the golden head of the dream of Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, and also, when you see the form of the gate here, the circular shape, you see that's the shape of the woman's womb. Yeah,
Right.
so this is a fertility religion, and Ishtar meaning Easter, a fertility feast. Yeah, so it's so easy to.
That reminds me of the word matrix. Doesn't that mean?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
a feminine.
That's correct.
That's a feminine.
That's correct.
Word.
Yeah, that is so correct.
It's
yes.
the womb. It's the womb, I think.
Yeah. But our main concern is not Ishtar or what.
No.
It's not the architecture they are venerating. It's just the seed of Satan that they are venerating. Yeah. Yeah, you see that has nothing to do with Christ. This is Antichrist. This is Antichrist, and you see on these reliefs you see the struggle of the giants. Yeah, or the destruction of the giants actually. Of course, they do not tell you that it is the biblical reference. They will tell you that it's just a Greek legend of the myth. Yeah, but it's very revealing these days when you see that is a television, even a television series. It's called Babylon Berlin. Very famous television series here, of course, because the Babylonian Ishtar Gate is in Berlin, and we know from the book of Revelation that this is just a city of Babel, and it's all just a whore of Babylon. It's when you look into the book of Revelation, wasn't it 18, Brett? 18:2? Yeah.
And he cried with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Yeah. And then it continues, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. What was that about fornication we read earlier in the book of Revelation? And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, it says at the end of verse 3, chapter 18.
Yeah, chapter 18. You see Babylon the Great, the habitation of devils. Yeah. Berlin is the habitation of devils now, because they are showing, presenting, boasting with the altar of Zeus, which is the Pergamon altar, which is the seat of Satan.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is really a struggle here in Germany. We are so doomed. Yeah. Yeah. People are boasting with it, even with the symbol of a diamond here, a triangle. Yeah. Or in Germany, they say they tell you that it's nothing to do with that.
Oh, man.
Of course, yeah. And even in Germany, the most famous movie studio is called the Studio Babelsberg, which means the Studio Mountain of Babel. It's a mountain of Babel, Babelsberg. Oh my. The second oldest large-scale film studio in the world. Yeah, hundreds of films were produced here, Brett, including Metropolis.
Oh.
Which is the seat of a bishop.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, with the Moloch machine where people have been offered. Yeah, you see that here. This is usually the machine working, and then out of a sudden there comes a picture called Molech or Moloch. Yeah, and then people were being pushed here, captivated, bound here onto the stairs, and then they were burnt for sacrifices here. This is Moloch clip from 1927 in. Just give me a sec. Yeah. You see, 1927 is almost 100 years to the date before, and this is a very famous black and white movie, which is a promotion from Roman Catholic Church actually, because the savior in that picture is Messiah. Messiah will save everybody in the end. Yeah, and now the son of the architect of or the chief of Metropolis looks at this giant machine where all the workers have to work. I think it was 10 hours a day or so. I made a German review about that. Yeah, and this giant machine turns into a man eating something. Yeah, and so this all has biblical references there. Yeah, you see that current usually depicted as lightnings. Yeah, temperatures rising. Of course, it's a movie, huh? What to expect? It's just entertainment for the masses who do not know what the message behind is. It's just a religious message that only Maria can save you in the end. It's not Jesus, it's Maria. Maria. Yeah. And this machine turns into a big monster now. Just hang on. We are close to the transformation. Now the movie goes into full esteem. Yeah, people are sacrificed there. He's got a vision. Moloch or Molech. Yeah. Yeah, then you see ancient or Egyptian people with horns on top of the stairs. These are maybe high priest or something else. Yeah, and though these people will then be burned into the machine. Yeah, so it is not far away from the Pergamon temple, the altar with all the stairs, I'd say, huh? This has been made in the Babel Mountain Studios in Germany, 1927, when the Pergamon altar was more than 20 years being displayed there. But of course, it's just a bunch of coincidences. Almost everywhere I look, I see only coincidences. Yeah, maybe these are just a bunch of what would they call me today, useless eaters. My. Oh, it reminds me a bit of Soylent Green, huh? Yeah, so let's face it, folks. It is just no coincidence that a part of Germany is called Babelsberg or Babel Mountain. You see, this is just tremendous coincidences here, huh? Yeah, and so that Moloch, which has been depicted, which you have just seen, is also been mentioned in the Bible in the book of Amos 5:26. Bread.
But ye have been, or excuse me, but ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, and your how do you pronounce this? Chewin?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Chewin your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves.
Mm-hmm. So Moloch is prominently mentioned in the Bible. Yeah. Also in the book of Acts 7:43.
Yea, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch, and the star of your God, Remphan, figures which ye made, to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon.
Yeah, Babylon always means captivity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or a punishment for the disobedient people of Israel. Yeah, and Leviticus.
Yeah, in modern times, it's mentioned as a place of luxury and wickedness.
Yeah. You see, this is Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon, which means that Molech asked for burnt sacrifices of children. Yeah, in first book of Kings. Yeah, so the burning of people is also been mentioned in the book of Kings and in the Bible. Yeah. Also here you see that here his son and daughters pass through the fire to Molech. Yeah, this is burnt offerings. That's the same which has been depicted in the image there of the altar of Zeus in the Pergamon. Pass through the fire means to sacrifice them to fire. pass through the fire. You remember of Against All Odds movie from the music of Peter Gabriel, Walk Through the Fire. And people say, yeah, it's a cool song. Their sons and daughters pass through the fire unto Molech. Yeah. I can't grasp the mindset of people who are so wicked that they offer their own children. You see, that is beyond my ability. Sorry. Yeah. Back to Metropolis, which is a bishop's seat. Yeah, this is Mariah's transformation of that movie. Mariah. Yeah, and Mariah is now artificial Mariah. She's the robot. That's the name of the robot, or the Dark Mariah.
That's interesting you pronounce it Mariah, because I think in English, wouldn't that be Maria?
Yeah.
But that's interesting you say that, because Mariah is, we have billboards here of a certain Mariah Carey.
Yeah, that's why I came up with the Mariah.
Isn't that something? I mean, these names, they obviously serve a purpose, and I don't think it's a good thing, Michael.
Yeah, and she's sitting on the throne here, Mariah, beneath the image of a satanic pentagram with the triangle pointing below.
Right.
Yeah. So it's all satanic. Yeah, it's all satanic. And now with electricity, she will become an artificial intelligence, and so it will be swept.
Isn't that called the blasphemy? The position of the downward pointed pentagram star.
Sigil of Baphomet. Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah. And so they switch. They kill the human and they create the machine. Yeah, that's depicted here in Metropolis. So her soul or what else shall be transferred into this female robot. Yeah, which is of course extremely smart and blah blah blah. Yeah, this is just Mariah, and of course he has.
You mean artificial intelligence, Michael?
Yeah, sort of. And the inventor here, he has sacrificed his right hand or his righteousness.
Oh.
Yeah. There's so much symbolism there. And also this is a blueprint of R2, D2, C3PO of Star Wars. Yeah, so Germans were first with that idea. But I'm not both.
Yeah, that's right. It's a male version of
Mariah, yeah.
Mariah, right.
Or Maria, yeah. Yeah, but Star Wars actually means the war of the angels against Lord. That's Star Wars. That's what it meant. And the dark star is then the dark angel, huh? Yeah. The first
mockery, Michael.
Yeah, the first filming was in 1912 for the Dance of the Death. So it's always negative, all these institutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Dance of the Death. Yeah. So, and then we close this session off because we will have much more background information in the next session. Let me tell you that you will find all these abominations to the Lord everywhere, even in songs. We have long gone talked about the satanic media agenda and all the stuff, which were the entry of all the sessions. The Rivers of Babylon also, who's got resemblance on the Bible, of course, is certain very famous German music group of the 1970s were Boney M. They had, I think, 10 number one hits here or so. The Rivers of Babylon is a Rastafari song written and recorded of the Jamaican group The Melodians in the 1970s. The lyrics are adapted from the text of Psalms 19 and 137 in the Hebrew Bible. Yeah, this is the lead text, the refrain of that song.
Oh my.
Yeah, that is Boney M. But you see, that would not be successful if it would not be satanic. So what's the satanic thing into mentioning two Bible verses? Because First of all, it's just a cover, yeah. And second of all, you see, this group was extremely popular in Germany. You see, this is the German position of all their singles. This is Germany, Austria, Germany, Australia, Austria, France, Ireland, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Sweden. I don't know what that is. UK and United States.
Switzerland, maybe.
Yeah, that could be.
SWI?
That could be. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, it very, very well could be. Yeah, you see that number one, etc., etc., until 1979. Yeah, number ones. And this Rulers of Babylon was even a number one in the United Kingdom.
Huh.
Yeah, and at least number 30 in the United States.
Well, that's something.
That's something.
Sure is.
Yeah,
I've never heard it before till I met Jörg.
Yeah, and the second thing which was very prominent, number one in the United Kingdom, also was Mary's boy child. Oh my Lord! So it is about captivity. It's not a big issue. It's not positive, except so it has been prominent in the devilish world. We wept. The wicked carried us away in captivity. Yeah, so it's a little bit negative on the negative side, I think. Yeah, so that is here just by the Rulers of Babylon. These are just two Bible verses, but also the devil quotes from the Bible if it serves him, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So the second hit they had in the United Kingdom was Mary's Boy Child, and this is Mary's Boy Child. I think even I got the single in 1979, and I could remember every little nitty gritty of what that song. Mary's
It looks
boy,
like they're in Greece or something, not Germany.
Yeah. Mary's Boy Child, or Roman. That looks a little bit like more Roman, maybe also, huh?
Well,
Style.
Rome acquired Greece very easily, right?
Yes.
It was a very simple transition. Yes.
So this is Mary's Boy Child. Oh my Lord. Yeah. So that is a combined double side because it continues in the same melody. Okay. So Mary's Boy Child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So these are all the errors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the man will not live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Yeah. And the shepherds watch their flock by night. They see a bright new shining star. It's not mentioned in the Bible that they saw the star.
Right.
Yeah. And Jesus Christ was not born on Christmas Day, but of course this is so easy because that is Roman Catholic tradition.
Yeah, and you make lots of money doing it.
Yeah, look at this. Oh my Lord, a golden halo crowned him. Where is the halo in the Bible? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Look for the halo bread in the Bible. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh my. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the shepherds, they only received a sign. You shall find the babe wrapped in sweating clothes lying in a manger. They did not see a star. Because if they would have seen a star, then many other people also would have seen the star. But no. It was not meant to be that the star was a sign for the shepherds. Yeah, so there is no halo. There is no halo, guys. There was no
unless
halo.
unless you enter a monastery, of course.
Yeah.
There's plenty of halos.
Yeah, it's just these are just the modest men. These are just the people who receive the truth. For example, here the name the guy called Simeon. Yeah, it was revealed unto him by the Holy Ghost that he should not see death before he had seen the Lord's Christ, and he did see the Lord's Christ. Can you imagine what kind of grace that is?
It's hard to.
But the average people, they do not know anything. They are just in for the money. They are not just in for grace and for the truth.
Oh yeah, you want an easy life, and you want to be able please your lusts.
Yeah, and these are not the stars of this world like Boney M and all the racers and all the actors and what else. Yeah, you see, there was also another one who just had the honor to see Jesus Christ. That was Anna, the prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel. She was of great age and had lived with an husband 7 years from her virginity, and she was a widow out of 84 years, which departed not from the temple, but served God with fastings and prayers night and day. These were the chosen ones who were ought to see Jesus Christ as an infant. It's not the wealthy and the rich guys. Yeah, so that closes down our first session on that item of the altar of Zeus, or the altar of the church of Pergamos, yeah, where Satan's seat is. That is the seat of Satan.
It's alive and well today, right, Michael?
Yeah. So thank you very much for having me. And next time we will go much more deeper into the Pergamon altar, because my fascination began when I found out that it resembles the fight of the giants. Okay, so I hope that you had something interesting amount of information here. I'm signing off and handing it over to my beloved brother Brad. Thanks for having me, and Maranatha until the very next time.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, so you never know when that is gonna hit you, you know, when you realize how deep the people that are running the government are directing the whole world into this deception. And yeah, it just keeps going. It's like that saying, it's the gift that keeps on giving, from the standpoint of research and coming to the knowledge of the truth in the Bible. It's not a good thing, though. It's very painful to come out of the deception and to see this truth for what it really is, and historically what that means. And sadly, you know, the people of this world that have led us in the opposite direction will very likely continue in that direction. It's only the very few people that are interested in coming to greater knowledge of what God's truth is and what the Holy Spirit has to say that are interested, I think, Michael. And I want to thank you, Michael, for taking the time with me on this channel to go into this topic, and we hope to see you next time. God bless America.